Welcome to Real Deal Disney, giving you all the information on all things Disney. I'm your host, Michelle, and a Disney fact about me is I've been a pass holder for about 4 years.
Hi, my name is Ayla again. Hi, I'm back. And another Disney fact about me is that the first time I went to Disney was when I was 4.
My name's Jordan, and my Disney fact is that I stayed on the monorail loop in the Contemporary when I was actually 3. Kind of a wasted trip, though.
Hello, my name is Zach, and Disney fact about me is that I've started a pin collection recently, and it's now really building up really big now.
That is a part of today's conversation, actually. Yes. We're going to be talking about all things pin trading, because in the Disney community, it's quite a big thing, pin trading. Now, does anybody know when, pin trading, started becoming a big thing? Because it wasn't a big thing, until recently, I think, right?
Probably the early 90s.
Okay,
when it really took off.
Yeah.
It's always been, hasn't it, always been a part of, something that Disney offered to be done?
Yeah, but no one really, paid attention to it.
According to Wikipedia here, all things real, it was introduced in 1999.
Oh.
So they didn't actually have pins until 1995?
No.
Well, if you find some, they're really old and very ugly looking, and they're very, very, very
So that's probably why people didn't start,
good.
pin trading.
Well, also
that was when pin trading became a thing. So pins were probably still a thing, but the trading of them and the way that
actual
we know,
pins.
Supposedly, a tradable pin is only one that is embossed in a certain way on the back. I don't know any cast members that have actually ever checked that, and I have literally seen cast members walking around with universal pins that idiots have traded them. So I don't know how well enforced that goes.
I think a lot of it has
when
to do
you
with
look
kids.
when you look at the official pin trading rules on the website, it says that it has to be stamped. Yeah, there's official rules. It has to be stamped with official Disney pin or something like that on the back.
Or the Mickey ears that they have now. Now, the reason I'm asking this is I just got started into pin trading. I got my first pin a few weeks ago. And the only reason I got it was because it reminded me of this podcast. So I blame this podcast for starting this new addiction.
It was the Chip and Dale with some headphones.
Yeah, it's really cute. I don't have it with me, but I love it. And
we don't have a camera, so it doesn't matter.
If I could... Yeah, true. But I don't remember even how it looks like right now. I know it has music notes and Chip and Dale wearing headphones, but
yeah, I saw that.
That's
one,
it.
Actually. I saw that one.
Yeah,
I was
but
hey, that reminds me of the podcast.
Yeah, see, it reminds you of the
wow.
podcast.
It's like our logo.
Hilarious. Now I have to buy it too. Or I'll just try to trade for it.
No, but since I started with that one pin, it's all gone downhill from there. Because every time I've gone to Disney now, I look at the little
the boards.
Cork boards, I guess they are.
Yeah.
And I look at them, you're like, oh, that's nice. I wish I had more pins. I would get that one. I was like, what has this done to me? I've never looked at them before.
My eyesight has never been clearer than when my eye cuts over to a cast member with a really large pin.
See, I've been neglecting my pin trading lately because I currently don't have any traders. So I've been purposely ignoring them because if I don't ignore them, I will look over and be like, oh my God, where are my traders? I need that pin. You feel?
Yes,
See, it
totally.
doesn't start until you actually get a pin, and then it just goes all the way downhill from there. Okay, speaking of that, though, talk about your first time with a pin. Your first time.
Well, I know
what pin was it, and how long ago was it?
I know what my very first, I don't know which one came first, but I know my first 3 pins. One of my earlier facts was that I collect Minnie Mouses, mostly plush, but I do have other Minnie Mouse items. And my birthday is in July, and the July stone is a ruby. So it's a Minnie Mouse pin. It's her full body, and in her bow is a ruby. And then I also have these 2, it's a Small World Chinese girls. One is just her head, and then the other one is her full body. And those were my first pins.
Okay. What about you, Jordan?
So my first pin that wasn't pin trading, but it was the first one I bought.
Yeah.
I want to say was this weird Tigger pin, and he had springs on his legs for some reason.
On his legs?
Yeah,
That
it was
sounds
weird.
So cute.
It was really cute, and
But it would make more sense
on
if
his
it were
tail.
his tail.
Bonds are made of springs. It's the song. I didn't make
Disney,
the pin,
how
though.
dare you forget the song?
Right? But yeah, that was my first pin. My mom bought it for me when I was 7 or 8.
Okay, and when did you start pin trading?
I started pin trading about a year ago, and now I have let's see, 3 full cork boards, and I'm working on mini cork board 4 and 5. I have a problem.
Oh,
Okay.
not as big
If you
as
could
mine.
estimate how many you have, how many do you think?
Okay, so including my traders, I have, as of right now, about 100 traders. And then on my cork boards themselves, probably adding those 100 traders in, maybe about 200.
Oh my god, dude.
175 to 200.
Dude, I lose count somewhere around 350.
But I haven't counted. They're just kind of
Does that
chilling on this
include your
board.
traders or?
I currently don't have any traders.
Oh, you have no
so
traders as all.
And like 350 is not even half.
Oh wow.
So I lose count at like.
what about you, Zach?
Well, I think my first pin that I actually bought was probably I started at the Disney store because I was never close enough to the parks to buy a park pin, but I had like a family pin that had Mickey and the gang on there. And then when I started collecting Disney Parks pin, I think it was 2010, my second trip to the Disney parks, I bought a a pin from each park that has the name of the park on it.
That's
Okay.
so cute.
And they've
Yeah.
changed them now. So I've got the Earful Tower on one of them.
Stop.
I've got
Aw.
one with the hat on there. I've got one of the original Animal Kingdom ones. I mean, that's when I first started. And then when I started trading, I actually saw some of the logos from Epcot on a cast member board in Tomorrowland.
Like the
early this
vintage
year.
ones?
Yeah, some of the vintage logos, the round circle ones.
Oh, hashtag
Those are
And I
cool.
saw them all on there, on their one board, and I was like, I need these. So I went in the store, I bought the 2 packs of pins and just traded them all to the cast member. I think I bought the pin trading starter kit, and then that's downhill from there. I started buying the traders, and
How long
I
ago
bought
was
so
that?
many.
Was that in 2010 when you went?
oh no, that was
or-
like early this year when I
Oh,
started
really?
trading.
Oh, that was
yeah.
this year?
Yeah, and I've already got like over 150 pins.
See,
so-
like you can tell, like we already have like 300, 200, 100. We're getting
Over
it
300.
yeah, over 300.
I've been trading since like 2009 though. So.
Oh wow, yeah. But you can see it's a really addicting thing, and like a lot of our friends have these pins too. And does anyone know the answer to why it's so addicting to trade pins? Or
I think it's just the rush.
That's
Yes.
it's an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
I do
especially if
it
you're
because
looking for
I'm a
something.
pack rat and I like to collect things. So like, and it's a cheap. I say cheap. So relative to Disney,
yes.
it's a cheaper way to enjoy your time in the park to end up with souvenirs that might have fun stories. Like for example, do you guys know the baby princess? So I started that collection because I ended up with one. I think it was baby Ariel because Ariel's my favorite princess.
Yeah.
So I ended up with a baby Ariel and I started collecting all of them. And it took me 3 years to finally finish it because Mulan was very elusive. None of the cast members had the baby Mulan. So fun stories, guys.
I think another awesome part is that it's part of international Disney that you can get to. If you can't get to the parks, I have some pins from Shanghai, Hong Kong, Paris that are exclusive to those parks. But somehow, some way, they find their way over here in Orlando.
Because they pin trade them.
Exactly. And so it's cool to kind of get that little piece of Disney that you may never get to see.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I've received quite a few from overseas, different Disney parks. I've got some from Hong Kong, Shanghai, Paris, Tokyo. I've
You
got
just
one
have
here.
all of them.
I've got one from each one, pretty
And
much.
you've only been doing this
like-
for a couple of months.
Yeah, like my first collection or my first trader set that came in, it had like a selection of nearly everyone in there, and I was like, wow, so many international pins. It's
See,
so different.
I haven't actually started pin trading. I have a pin, but I haven't traded that one, and I don't think I will trade
A
that
pin.
one.
You have a
I
pin.
have one pin. I'm thinking
You
about
gotta
getting
get
the
started.
otter pin. I want to get the otter pin
The-
so badly.
The one from Finding Dory.
yes,
In
I
case
want
you
that
guys
one.
don't know, Michelle loves otters.
but, but like they have a cuddle party one that I
Aw.
actually wanted it to be my first pin, but I
Cuddle
found
party.
the real deal
Chipmunks.
Disney chipmunk one, quote unquote. I'm just gonna call it that because no, I'm not.
It
not.
Chippendale with headphones.
Chippendale with headphones, fine. I saw that one and I was like, I need that. But the reason I'm scared to start is because some people think it's really expensive. Like you spend all your money on this.
Well,
but
If you buy pins in the park to trade them, yes, you're going to be like the big sets are kind of pricey, like not compared to what individually,
Yeah.
but like the big sets are still like $30-$40 for 6 to 8. Whereas if you, sorry for shouting.
No, you're good.
Online
Not
you
good.
can buy pin lots, and those are pretty, is the word decisive? Polarizing. Those are pretty polarizing, the general
Yeah, I've heard.
feelings, because sometimes, more often than not, they're like, what are they, like rejects or something?
Scrappers.
Scrappers. So they're not things that would have been like able to be sold for some mundane reason that you or I probably could not notice, but like that the that the Disney like people notice, but they'll still trade them with you. So in the end,
Yeah, because I've heard there's actually like cheap situations where people go on like eBay and buy like official, kind of, I guess official, like.
well,
Yeah,
sometimes
you've given
you
those
can
and,
tell
like-
they're fake. Like if you
So-
can really tell they're fake.
So I
Yeah.
am that. That's how I got started.
Yeah, you have your little
fakes.
tips and
I
tricks.
got my pin lots on eBay. My tip is always to buy pin lots from people who live near a Disney park.
Also,
They
check
don't-
reviews.
Yes, that too. People who have a lot of reviews, if they have like one review and it's like their best friend John from down the street, you don't trust him. 'Cause
Like, make
someone
sure
got
they're high
slid from-
starred, lots of reviews, glance at the reviews, make sure people were satisfied.
Are
but-
there any like constants that you go to? Like, are there people who like sell pin lots all the time and you always buy
Mhm.
from them?
There's especially with when you start getting, you usually get one pin lot and then they'll send you a coupon or like a discount code in there.
Okay.
And that's a surefire way to keep me going back for 10-15% off my next pin lot.
Yeah.
I usually get the 50 pins for $25. And
Same.
you
I
just
agree.
kind of sort through them, and sometimes you find ones that you like and you want to keep all of them. I wonder who does
Suspicious
that.
glancing. I mean, I do it too. Like, usually when I get a lot of 50, I like about 20 to 25 of them, and then I trade the rest.
Mine's more like 40.
Oh my God, Zach.
I usually like only have like a dozen left that
Zach
I'm like,
will, like-
okay, I don't like these.
You need to
but
buy like lots of 100 then.
Zach will text me and be like, I got my pin lot, and then 10 minutes later he'll be like, I liked like 45 of them.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God,
you gotta get rid of
45.
That's
them.
crazy.
Now, okay, so people might be confused when you say pin lots because not the people who just getting
Mhm.
into it, they don't know. Like, what is a pin
just
lot?
means a
Where do you
bunch
get
of
a pin
random
lot
pins.
from?
And you usually buy them from like eBay. Pretty much
Typically
just
eBay.
eBay. I don't think anyone buys them off of Amazon. That's
Amazon
weird.
tends to be more expensive,
Yeah.
and they'll try to get you with prime shipping. But usually, especially if you live near a park itself and you order from someone near a park, I've gotten pins as fast as 2 to 3 days.
Also, just when you go online to eBay, just filter by free shipping. Like that's always helpful.
Can you filter by location of
You
the
can filter
shipper?
U.S. only, and can you filter further than
I
that?
think you can do by state, give
Okay.
or take. But
Okay.
usually U.S. only is the best way to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes they've moved, but I've never had any issues with people
I mean,
from
most-
California or
Most
Florida.
U.S. shipping is like pretty much like within the week.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, don't order a pin lot like with 2 days before you're leaving to go to the parks, because there's a pretty good chance like something's gonna go wrong just because that's how luck works.
Yeah.
But give yourself like a week, order, relax, go through them, enjoy yourself.
That's a good point. Yeah. I that's what $25 is kind of a lot for me though. 'Cause,
When you
like,
factor in that you're getting 2 pins pretty much for
$1.
$1, or yeah, get that the way
It's 2 for 1 basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you also have to factor in the fact that some of these pins that you get might be or you can trade for. I once traded a pin from a pin lot, and I got this huge Port Orleans pin, like a logo pin, that when I looked back at like how much it costs in stores, it was like $16.
Right.
Oh
like,
my
I got
gosh,
a
yeah.
big like it was like it looks like a scrapbook. I call them double back pins. It just means it's large enough that it's not one single pin. It's like 2 like
The
pin
prongs.
to push through like your lanyard or your book. And it's a 2 back book, and it's huge, and it's got like the pictures of like the country symbols from Epcot. And I looked back, and it's like out of like 100 or something, and I'm like, wow, I
Wow.
can't believe this got traded away.
So in a way, it's like if you want to save money, this is probably a better option. So people who like are trying to go to Orlando or like one of the other things, like maybe as a tourist, maybe you just buy a lot of pin lots and then come over to Disney, dude.
And they will trade.
And you can pin trade even for free at Downtown Disney. I'm sorry, Disney Springs.
In fact, didn't you say that you got started at the Disney store?
Yes.
Yeah,
Now,
Disney stores
way
too,
back in the
right.
day, they used to sell Disney Parks official trading pins
Okay.
in the Disney store. And so those are the ones I was buying. I think I bought a couple before they took them out of the store.
Mm-hmm.
But they shortly took them out, and then they had their own brand trading pins that were really cheap made. But
Can you not
They were
use?
okay.
Can you use those to buy or
I'd
to
say
trade
you
with them?
could. But
Like
I've
I
never
said, I've
traded
seen
them. They're
people
just
with
kinda there.
universal pins trading.
Yeah.
So really,
Yes.
who's looking?
Yeah, that's a good point. This actually just came to mind right now. I don't know why this came into mind. I'm gonna go off on a little tangent.
Mm-hmm.
Pins are shiny, right?
Yes, they are.
Do you
Yes.
think one of those pin trading guys from Hollywood Studios, or not pin trading, the trader things from like Hollywood, what are they called?
The pin boards?
No, just the Star Wars characters. This is where I go bad. This is where
The
I go bad.
Stormtroopers?
No. The little tiny ones with
The
the yellow
Jawas.
eyes.
Ah, the Jawas.
Yes.
What
Can
the
you,
hell
you
is
think
a
they will
Jawa?
trade with those?
I
Like,
do believe
What's a
that.
Jawa?
Well, unfortunately, the Jawas are no longer in the park.
They aren't? When did they
No.
get
What's
rid
a
of those?
Jawa?
When they put in BB-8.
The little
'cause
hooded characters that were in the Star Wars launch bay.
Oh, because when I went to go see BB-8, they were there.
Yeah, they just moved them out. I think because the lines were entering
Oh,
where
wait,
the
are
Jawas
those-
trade.
Are those the little tiny things from the third Star Wars movie?
Okay, that I
think
can't
so.
help you.
Uh-huh.
I think
Like
so.
the little thing that everyone hated, the like stupid little teddy bears.
No,
That's-
those are
That's Ewoks.
Those are
yeah.
Ewoks.
Oh, then I have no idea what we're talking
We
about.
will Google a picture of a Jawa for Ayla right now.
This goes to show you how much we
Look,
know about
I've
Star
only
Wars.
seen some of the Star Wars movies. I'm sorry.
However, the Jawas are no longer there, but I did hear back in the day, and if they ever bring them back, they would trade.
They
for
would
pins.
trade. pins.
Well, they won't trade pins. They'll take a pin as something shiny and like give you something else.
That is interesting.
So you might not get a pin back. I
Yeah.
don't recommend trading.
Well, unless
pins
you like
back.
really hate the pin and you don't want to see this pin ever again in your life, be like,
Exactly.
give it to a Jawa.
Exactly, they'll take it.
Okay, I don't
Okay.
even know what those are.
Now, going on Star Wars, it made me think about themes. What's your favorite themed pin?
Parks.
Princesses.
The two main ones.
Mine would probably be special edition pins for
Oh,
things
true.
like parties and pass holder pins. And
I love
Mhm.
my pass holder pins. I spend so much money on pass holder
Yes.
pins alone.
Yes.
But, like some of the limited edition ones are pretty cool. Like I've looked back on my collection, and like I said, I've been pin trading since like 2009, but I've been pin collecting since before that. And I have one from the release of Enchanted.
oh, that's cool.
It's a limited edition. I think it's out of 1 or 2,000, and it's got like a little dangling piece on it, and it says Enchanted comes out blah blah blah, and it's the picture of Giselle when she's animated hugging that like weird tree statue she made of Prince Edward.
I think I saw that. I've seen that online before, but it was really cool.
Yeah, I think it's like expensive now because it was limited edition and
Mhm.
it's dated and it's from
Oh,
so
yeah,
long
that's-
ago.
I'm always wondering about that. Do you think you'd ever actually sell your pins if it ever turned out like you had one of those?
Not if you
Probably
like
not.
Like, could you
Stabbed
part
me.
with your favorite or like with your pins?
No.
Like,
No.
even one of them.
It's like asking me if I could part with my dogs.
Listen, if I die and have kids, they can do whatever they want with them.
See,
But
if
yeah,
I-
like once
if I
I'm dead,
live-
but
If I live and breathe, those pins are mine.
yeah, if I buy them, I bought it for a reason. I bought it because I liked it. I don't buy the ones that I don't like.
yeah, I
Even
don't
the
trade
limited
for ones I
editions.
don't like.
Even the limited editions. If I don't like it, I'm like, I'm not going to buy that. So I like the Epcot 35. They're coming out with a bunch of pins, and I like them all. So I kind of want them all, and I'll never get rid of them.
I don't have enough money to buy them all, but I do want the I was there pin.
I've been
Yeah.
slowly getting. I have the Universe of Energy one. Now I have the Kitchen Crackpots one, the orange one. Don't even know what Kitchen Crackpots is, but I bought
Wasn't
it.
it that show that was in like the land like
Yes, it used to be
10,000
where
years ago?
It was where Soren was before it
Is it
moved
the one
in.
where they let the kids cook?
No, it was
Okay.
called. It was a animatronic show called Kitchen
Oh,
Cabaret,
that.
and then Food Rocks was what it changed to in the '90s.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
I
That
was
was
wondering where
crazy.
And there's
Food Rocks
a
was.
song on one of the soundtracks that is still from it. They still play it on the. It's on one of the Disney park soundtracks. They still sell it in the stores.
Just
That's
as a
crazy.
hilarious
It's
side
funny.
tangent, I brought my friend to Epcot for the first time ever a couple weeks ago, and we got there and she was like looking around and she was like, this isn't at all what I thought Epcot would look like. And I was like, what were you expecting? And she was like, I don't know, something more like downtown Disney. And I was like, so a mall?
Flamingo Crossing.
I mean, that's basically what downtown Disney is a
Yeah.
giant mall
With one
now.
giant Disney store.
I mean, never mind. We're not gonna go into that tangent.
Anyway, sorry guys.
Oh,
No,
but I
we're
do have
fine.
a side note for people who are locals.
Okay.
If you ever find a party pin online that you like, or you go to a party and you're like, wow, I really want that pin, and you're a pass holder, my advice is always get the pass holder pins, because when you have the outlet store at your disposal, they go to the outlet store. We are still selling for $6.99 last year's Christmas party pins.
Seriously?
Yes, they have so many. Someone hit an extra 2 zeros at this point. But usually the regular pins that are still party pins will go to the outlets.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also a really good way to get your, like, I usually don't buy the regular open edition
Mm-hmm.
food and wine pins or flower and garden pins, because I usually know that they're going to go there.
Did you notice that this year's we're in food and wine. I'm sorry. This year's food and wine pin, like the main one, looks like the main pass holder pin, except the pass holder one just says pass holder on the bottom.
Yep.
Because I noticed
You
that.
mean that that Schoolhouse Rock logo? Because
Yes. It's kind of.
It's
I
just
think
over
it's
looking
kind
at
of
it,
cute. Like,
it
I
looks
think
like
that the
Schoolhouse
pin
Rock.
is cute, but I'm just a little annoyed that, like, the main one, because I didn't really want what was it, Lady and the Tramp and Beauty and the Beast? No, that was last. That
No,
was Flower
it
and
was
Garden.
just Lady and the Tramp.
Oh, okay. I didn't really like the Lady and the Tramp one. I wanted the one that was just plain old pass holder, and I did buy it because it was kind of cute. I was just a little irked that they were a little bit lazier and they
Their
decided
design.
to just copy paste and add the word pass holder. Guys, is it really that hard? Like, honestly, graphic
some-
design, there's so many people in it.
I was gonna say I know some freelancers that would gladly design something
Like
for
me,
Disney.
I would happily do it. Let me redesign your app, Disney.
Let Ayla just redesign everything.
Please.
Your app is terrible if you're listening to this Disney World.
Like they are.
We're gonna get a letter.
Cease and desist.
Must stop all Real Deal productions because of that one comment.
All right, y'all can edit it out.
No, you're fine.
Oh my goodness. We've derailed.
Oh, dear. Okay, so like, how do you determine which pin you buy, like in that moment, or like,
Is it pretty?
Impulse.
Will it look nice on a page?
what did you say?
Impulse.
Impulse buying.
It's a bad habit,
Same,
but
though.
impulse. Oh, I need that one.
I
Okay, how
bought-
much is it?
I bought the food and wine coin because it was really pretty. I don't collect coins. I have one coin from Disney. It's from the weird car, like not Cars, but like it was like vehicle parade at MGM Studios in like 2005. It's the Little Mermaid in a cute little shell mobile.
That's cute.
And like that's the other Disney coin I have.
Going off of what Zach said about how much is it, how much can I like get a discount for it? Like, okay, it's like $15.99, but with my 20% pass holder discount, it's
Which
really
goes back to 10% next month.
Yeah, we're not talking
What?
about that. I'm gonna
No.
pretend like
Yay,
that's not happening.
cast member. I get this 20%. I think.
I'll
I
be
think.
hitting you
I
up
think
for
it
more
keeps
pin.
that, and then I get a special 40% for Christmas. I think, but I don't know
So
when that
basically,
starts. I don't know.
Doesn't that start in like
Basically,
October,
become a cast
November.
member.
I don't
Or just
remember.
find yourself a nice cast member. Hi,
Wait,
Zach,
don't
how
say
you
that. You're
doing
not
today?
really. I'm pretty sure you're not really allowed to say that.
You can Google it everywhere. I'm sure everyone said it. There's these bloggers online. They literally talked about their whole cast program, the,
Oh, yeah, the C-
college program, the CP girls. I'm
Like
sure you
Carolina
found their.
Ellie.
Yeah,
Googled
they
them
literally
this
talked
week.
about their entire experience, and I'm like, wow.
There's
This
people that
seems
like
weird.
have Instagrams and they like post pictures of themselves as they're like when they're friends with characters, and I'm like, how do you guys not get fired immediately? Because, like, isn't
Yeah, I've
that like
seen
a
that.
break of character integrity?
I think because if you look at their captions, it's usually like, "Oh, I'm so glad my friend came."
No,
around."
I've literally seen it where they're just like, look how cute I look.
Oh well.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
how did you not
They
might
immediately
not
get
still be there.
fired?
Well, we'll get into that when we have our cast member discussion.
Right, sorry.
So the
No,
whole
you're
5
good.
minutes is just gone.
We can still talk about that. That sounds like a rant that's gonna be needed.
Well, we don't have anyone that's friends with.
I
like,
mean,
face
even
characters.
still, like, I'm sure, like, do you know anyone who's friends with anyone? Well, I'm sure
No.
someone does.
Someone
Well-
In
somewhere
our
does.
friend group.
I know
Maybe
someone
Lizzie.
who
Yeah.
knows someone. That's about as far as it goes.
You know someone who knows someone.
Someone I do
Like,
too. I
Six
someone-
degrees of separation, guys.
Well, like someone I work with, she has a friend who
It's a friend.
is a friend of a friend, I think,
Of a
somewhere. I don't know. She mentioned it, but beyond that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. That sounds cool. But jumping off the cast member discussion, once you see in the outlets, the cast members get a choice at first. And
Really?
so a lot of times,
you didn't know that?
I did not know that. I don't
Yeah.
know much about cast
There's a
members.
store-
Character Warehouse, right?
yeah, it's called
Yeah, I
No.
knew about character.
No.
Cast
No, that's
Connection.
Cast
Cast
Connections.
Connection. Sorry, I get confused.
Yes, and all the pins go there first. Like they still have pins from 2 or 3 marathons ago, and like no one buys them because they're very boring and they're very
Yeah.
expensive even in the cast store.
And they're
for
kind
what
of
they
ugly.
are, and they're very ugly. Yeah,
I
but
mean,
like we get those party pins. Like I've saw all of the Halloween pins, all of the Christmas pins are there, and I'm like, I don't even want those. Like,
so
they're
don't
not
go to
that great.
Cast Connections
No,
for
but
pins.
They'll eventually end up in the character warehouses, and then you're like, okay, now everyone can have a jump at it. And
Yeah, but I didn't know that it went to
Yeah.
Cast Connections first and then to outlets. I knew about Cast Connections.
Yeah, pretty much everything goes there, and then it goes to the outlets if it doesn't sell to the cast members.
Okay,
It's
that's
kind of like second
interesting.
pick.
So find yourself a cast member.
What
friend.
is?
Hi Zach, how you doing?
Okay, so excluding like the top tier level pins that you would buy, what's sort of a price range you would go for like buying a pin?
I've bought anything between, like, I mean, I don't really have a low limit, obviously. But, like, I think the most I will pay for a non, like, super special edition or whatever is probably $14. And that's, I have to really love it and have not seen it for trade, because a lot of the pins that you see on the walls where they sell them are like for trade also on a lot of the cast member lanyards. But like I look around a little bit and I'm like, okay, I haven't seen it at all in the past couple of days, so I really love this. I will purchase it, but it has to be under like $14.
Like I've noticed a lot of the pins that you find on like the pin walls are a totally different size from the pins that you find a lot on the lanyards. Like the lanyards are a lot smaller. They're more of the hidden Mickey style pins, maybe the special cast member pins. And then you don't really see very often the bigger pins. And I don't know
Just to like
why.
Just
but
to explain it
it's-
really fast,
yeah.
cast member pins are pins that have like little tiny hidden Mickeys on them. They're called cast member pins, hidden Mickey pins. You can't purchase them. You have to trade for them from a cast member.
Which is also a good reason for pin trading. Then you get those little special hidden nuggets.
Which hence a lot of the pin lots, if you look, will say cast member pins, hidden Mickey pins, whatever.
Going off what Zach was saying about the size of the pins on the pin lanyards and the pin boards, I think a lot of that honestly has to do with kids trading. Parents buy the kids' pins. The parents don't know the worth of the pin, or the kids go trade and want to trade for this pin. Most of my pins that I've traded for that are large, I've talked to the cast members and they're like, wow, I just got that. I didn't think that was going to last long. Some kid just gave that to me and I tried to talk them out of it and they really wanted whatever was on my lanyard.
Yeah, kids are like that. Like if they're so short, like short-minded. Can I tell a cute little anecdote really quickly?
Sure.
So I was at a garage sale over the summer. This is mildly Disney related, I promise. And I was selling a lot of my kids' stuff, and among that, I had a Barbie car and a Pluto that like was kind of like remote controlled, but it was connected by a wire.
Yeah,
So like it was a leash. And this little girl really wanted to buy it, and I was pretty set on the price. So she went to her car and came back with a second very new Barbie car and said, like, because she only had $10, she's like, $10 and this Barbie car for the Pluto. And I was like, I guess, like, I think you're going to cry if I say no. So just go for it, kid.
That's probably why the cast members are so like just do it anyways because
Yeah.
they
What are
don't
the
want the
rules?
kids to end up like crying.
They can't. Cast members are not
Well,
allowed to
yeah.
reject a trade.
Well, yeah, but they
No.
can try to be like, hey, are you sure you want to do that?
But kids are just so like short-sighted. They don't see like, oh, that one is so much prettier as opposed to this one is like rarer or bigger or something.
And
Right.
some
for
cast
sure.
members are not as knowledgeable about the pins. They just kind of carry it around because they're given it. A lot of the merchandise
Mhm.
wear a pin lanyard of some kind, or the pin little pouch strap thing that hangs off their
Yeah.
belt or whatever. But
Glad
like
you know what
a
that's
lot
called,
I
cast
don't even
member.
know. I don't even know what that
He
is,
doesn't
but it
get
sounds-
pins.
I mean, I don't even get them, but we have like a few in our department, but we don't trade them. They just kind of sit there more like thumbtacks.
Oh, so you've never worn one of those pin shirts?
It took me a
Nice
second to
thumbtack.
figure out what you said. Thumbtacks.
Yeah, thumbtacks. They're
You
on our
use them
we
as-
just put pictures up on the wall and stuff with them things.
Oh
I'm
my
Oh
God.
my god.
I'm like, I walked in there and I saw that. I was like, that's pin. Why are the pins you? Okay, I don't know.
You should trade those
But,
pins
like-
for real thumbtacks.
Yeah. Like, here, I'll give you this thumbtack for that pin. But like, a lot of the cast members are not as knowledgeable about it. Like many in my department don't even really know what pin trading is. So I don't even think they really care what they trade a lot of times. That's when you get a universal pin or something of that nature. They're like, whatever, it's
I
a
just-
pin.
I
Somebody
think
will
it's
take
so
it anyway
funny
later.
That
'Cause
like
they'll be
they're
like,
like
that's universal. I'm gonna take that one.
they're
Yeah.
like, oh my god, look, a Harry Potter pin. That must clearly be Disney. It's like, do you
That's
not
like a
even
hidden
know
joke
who
in
you
the
work
cast member
for?
world, so
Is it?
yeah, that's one of the things they tell us in traditions. Is like,
They're gonna
you'll-
ask you
you'll
where
get those
Harry Potter World
questions,
is.
Where is Harry Potter at?
I've literally
What
What do
can I
you
mean,
What do
Harry
you
Potter?
answer for that?
I don't even remember what they told us to say, but
well,
like,
you're
I
in
was
food,
like,
so I can't imagine many people are gonna ask
no,
you.
but if I was in the theme parks, I think you get a lot of questions from that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I
I've heard
heard
a lot of
someone-
horror stories from that.
I heard
so-
someone when I walked in, like literally after scanning my magic band, like right when I walked in Magic Kingdom, and they were like, "Let's go find Hogwarts," and I was like, "Oh, you're gonna be in for disappointment."
So, including the pins, everything just gets mistaken for Universal, and probably the vice versa at Universal getting mistaken.
I don't
for
think
Disney
I've
stuff.
ever heard anyone say, "Where's Cinderella Castle at Universal Studios?"
Well,
from?"
it's a totally different conversation, but we do have a friend that works at Universal at guest services,
Who works at guest services?
Gabby. And
Oh.
she was asked one day if a family came in, paid for
Mhm.
parking, got all the way up to Island
Oh
of
my God,
Adventure.
no!
No.
And
No, we
asked
know
to-
exactly where this is going.
They have to like turn in their annual pass paperwork. They already paid for it. I don't know how they got this far. And they turned it in. They're like, we want our annual passes. And she's like, this is for Disney.
Wait,
And
they
they
got
said-
inside the park?
No, they're at the gate
Oh,
like, to guest
okay.
services. And they're like, but this is Universal Studios, like studios, right? And she's like, you're thinking of Hollywood Studios? That's at Disney World. This is Universal. And they're like, but we wanted like annual passes for here. And they're like, well, she's like, well, I can still give you them, but you have to pay for them because you're at the wrong park. Like,
You're
this
at the
is-
wrong
Oh.
I
property.
can't. They're like, well, can you get us there? Like, is there transportation? They're like, no, you have to drive. Like,
Why
I
would
can't.
they have transportation from Universal to Disney?
People think that they're the same thing, and like there's like this underground train that just takes you from one place to the other, and it's just not the way it works. People.
No.
I was the last time, or maybe the second to last time, I rode the Great Movie Ride. I was in line, and
Zach is currently wearing
Ew,
the
yeah,
Great
he's
Movie
wearing the
Ride
shirt.
memorial.
there
And
was
he
a
has the hat.
gesture and then some giggling. Anyway,
And
Yeah,
that.
the hat.
And the hat.
so I was in line for, how did this become about Universal Studios? Whatever.
Well, we're
in
going off
line,
on tangents,
and
which isn't a bad thing.
I was like maybe like 30 feet away from like where they put you in a car or whatever. And this guy is like talking, and I hear him say to his friend, "Ugh, this park is so boring. Disney's so boring. Where's Universal?" And I like looked around, and then I wasn't gonna say anything, but then he was like, "Do you know where Universal is?" And I was like, "It's like down I-4 that way." And he was like, "All right, cool." And then I was like, "I'm just gonna go board this ride and close my mouth."
This podcast has been full of a lot of tangents, but I've been kind of enjoying
Just call it pin trading and other tangents.
pin trading and tangents.
Etc.
Good trading, etc. There you go.
Okay, so what advice do you have for new pin traders and how to not get caught up in the addiction?
Don't start pin trading if you don't
Honestly,
want to
I
get
know.
caught up in the
I'm
addiction.
like, I don't think we're the best ones.
Yeah, my
There's
coworker was
no
like, you
learning
saved,
from your
have you ever
mistakes.
saved money before? And I'm like, yeah. They said, and then I started pin trading. She's like, you need to stop buying pins, buy t-shirts. I said, that's even worse.
That's even more
Yeah,
expensive.
that's worse.
No, t-shirts are more expensive.
I'm like, and she's the same girl that's never been to Magic Kingdom, and she works
What?
at Walt Disney World.
What?
Yeah, you're
She's
something from her.
never
I'm
been.
like, no.
Holy shit. What the heck?
Yeah, I'm like, come on, let's go.
I told him
but-
to put her on a boat from Polly to. She's already there.
Just
Like,
stick her on the freaking monorail.
Yeah, she's at Polly.
She'll probably ride the monorail all around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Back.
honestly. But
Put on
the
a boat.
anyway, but I honestly for like getting started, don't fall for like the getting started packs at Disney. Buy a pin
Agreed.
lot because you'll be spending probably more for less pins. So just go somewhere, like go online if you really want to get started, get a pin lot. Find some pins in that lot that you're not a huge fan of, trade them away, get started, get caught up in it. It's a lot of fun. Like, and honestly, you don't even need a lanyard. And lanyards can be dangerous because pins can fall off of them.
Yes.
What I do is I put them in a little headphone case and I carry them that way.
I actually lost one of my pins with the first trip I brought them for the first time. I had it on the lanyard. I was like, I'm going to do this right way. Carried it on the lanyard. Walking down Main Street and dropped one of them right off of it immediately as I entered the park.
Did you like?
And I didn't notice it until the end of the day.
Oh.
And I was like, it was one of the Disney store pins, so I wasn't that distraught. But it was a Minnie Mouse picture frame pin. It had,
No,
had a little
Minnie.
picture you could put on it, but I never put the picture in it.
I have that
But
pin.
yeah,
I
you
know
probably have
exactly
it.
what you're talking
Yes.
about. I have it. It's got a picture of me meeting Minnie for the first time inside of it.
That's
Yes.
so cute.
Yeah, I lost that pin immediately, and I was like, "Aw, that was kind of my favorite that I had bought." But I've gained a
So-
lot of new favorites now, so it's okay.
There's not like a certain way you have to do things, but there are things that you should probably avoid, like putting them on lanterns. What are your
Lanyards and not lanterns.
I noticed that when I said it. Lanyard.
Unless you're Rapunzel. If you're Rapunzel, you can carry it on a lantern.
Someone should decorate a lantern and put. I'm sorry.
That sounds cool.
No, make a pin board
Low-key,
and make
you're
it
about to
look
do
like a
that.
lantern, like
Oh,
one of the
that's cool.
Tangled lanterns.
Okay, my new pin.
Put a light, like a
Uh-oh.
light inside.
See, this is what happens when you get pin traders together and start talking
I don't use
about
pin boards.
pins.
I use pin books because they're easier to transport, and also, so my when I was a kid for Christmas one year, I got 3 like zippered cloth binders. I think they were called Trapper Keepers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But like for all you younger people, if you don't know what that is, it's like a cloth. It's got the three-pronged binder or whatever. And Disney World sells pin pages, which is 1 page of like felt and 1 page of plastic to separate them. And so I bought 3 sets of those and I put them in these Trapper Keepers. One was the Disney princesses back when they all had gold dresses, which was a really weird thing that happened, and I don't know
It
why
only
it
made
happened.
sense for Belle.
Yeah. So there was one of them is that. One of them is Kim Possible because Kim Possible is amazing. And then
Yes.
the other one is High School Musical because
They had High School
High
Musical
School Musical is
pins?
amazing.
I have a Hannah
I
Montana
have
pin.
I have 3 High School Musical pins. I have 4 Hannah Montana pins. Anyway, so that's how
Oh
I
my
started
gosh.
my like holding them because before that they were just kind of all on one lanyard and they did not all fit on one lanyard, guys.
No. But I also have some of those locking pin bags. That's what if I carry any pin with me,
Use
in
a
the park,
locking pin
I
bag.
use it.
It's
I
very
actually have 'em
smart.
on
The
this
one with the.
so I didn't want to lose my good pins.
It has
today.
a little Allen
But,
wrench.
yeah.
And like it's inconvenient if you're using it to trade, but it's very good if you don't want to lose a pin.
I will post a picture
Yeah.
on the on all our social medias, and I will
But-
post them right now. So just in case if you want to use one, so that'll
Yeah.
be great.
You can usually find them. I think they're like $10 for the bag of them, but they're good if you're going to carry them around.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
want to
Yeah,
show off
so-
your pins, if you want to put them on a hat, for example, because that's something else people do.
Oh gosh, I've seen all kinds of things with pins.
Yeah, so
The
like if you
vest?
want to like wear them in any way, it really is best to get a locking pin back because I don't know, like it's really hard. Like I've tried to tug it off and you're more likely just going to tear whatever it's in than you are to like actually get the pin free.
Yes, actually, I think the prong would.
So if you
Bend
want to
before you
put
can
it
take
on
it
like
off.
lanyards, hats, backpacks, then use the pin lock to do so.
Yes.
That's another good advice.
The little
tip.
rubber Mickey things, they usually sell them for like 2 bags for $6. I mean, you should have them already. I don't know how you'd lose them, but I wouldn't buy those unless I was dying for them, because I mean, I don't even use those like that because they don't stay in there very well. The prongs don't stay in that little rubber thing they have.
See, I'm not as fancy as these two, so I like to bring my pins to the park to trade often. But what I normally do, it sounds so sad, I bring 2 Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
So I have all my traders in one, and then the second Ziploc bag are any pins that I trade for that I don't want to put back in my trade kind of circulation.
Yeah.
And I want to put on the board immediately. So if it's something that I've been looking for to complete a collection or anything like that, I'll put it in the secondary bag, and then when I get home.
How do you keep track of those 2 bags?
Usually one is a lot more full than the other. Like usually that. I once tried to bring all my traders, and it was just a big mess. So
You wanna
I
know
usually
my
bring about
dorky-
50 at a time.
My dorky way of determining. So some of the lots you buy, they come in individual tiny bags. And the ones that I have traded away are like, or that I've traded for are in the little bags, and the ones to trade are not.
Right. Yeah,
How do you take yours around the park? Zach?
Well, I have this lanyard I bought when I first started trading.
With
It's
that set, right? You said?
it was with the set. It had like 4 pins on it, and then I traded them all for the ones that I wanted at the cast member board. And then I just kept that one. And so every time I go to the parks, I put all the traders I want to trade on there, and I just stick it in my pocket. I don't wear it. So that whenever I see one, I just
And
pull
if
it out
it
of my
falls
pocket.
off, it's in your pocket.
Yeah, it's in my pocket if it falls off.
You want to know something hilarious
So.
about you traded all 4 away? Also, technically on the official rules, which apparently I'm the only person that's read, also on the official rules, it says that you're only supposed to trade 2 per cast member.
Yes, there's actually 2 cast members standing side by side, and they had their boards leaned up on the side because there was 2 separate kiosks. So
That's hilarious.
I did follow that rule in that case because I had read on the back of that package, it said only 2 per cast member, and I was like, oh, okay. So I noticed that each one had 2 of them on there, and I was like, okay, I can do this.
Sometimes,
okay.
though, if you ask really nicely, they'll be like, okay, can you do one more?
The best thing is when you go to trade and it's a really nice cast member and they give you a magical moment and they're just like, oh, no, you can just keep it. That's always great.
Oh, wow.
That's happened.
nice.
It happened to me a couple times. Once I remember, the one I'm remembering most is it was like really late and we were in the American Adventure Pavilion or whatever, and we were eating dinner, and I stopped this manager because he had a pin that I really wanted. And I went to I asked, can I trade for you for that? And when I went to get mine out, he was just like, oh, don't worry about it. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, okay. So you keep yours in a little binder, Jordan. You keep yours
4.5 binders.
4.5. That's how much. So
There's the 3
100
Trapper
per.
Keepers, and then the 1 extra one, and then I have a dream book, and it has my really, really, really special pins.
Okay, so you keep yours on cork boards. Zach, do you just?
I
you
have
do yours.
I have cork boards, the cork squares you buy at like Walmart or craft stores.
Yeah.
And I've got I think I've bought like 4 or 5 packs of those things now. I've just got a whole wall where I've got them all there. And then I've kind of got everything separated on there in different collections. And
Can
then
you put the backs on those, or do you just
No.
stick? So where do you have all your backs?
I just have a bucket like this that it's full of them.
He's
I've got
gesturing to a little
hundreds and
cup,
hundreds
just so we're
in
clear.
a cup. And
That's great.
A Lego cup.
Let's see, and then I put my very, very special ones, like my limited edition that I want to keep really safe. I have a shadow box with a cork board in it
Oh, okay.
that I stick them in. It's behind glass, so
Yeah. I honestly
They're
thought
real
you were about to
protected.
say you were gonna keep them in like a vase or like in a safe,
Safe.
where
Oh,
a
no.
safe.
I wanna be able to look at it.
Lock
I'm
them
like-
up.
Lock, fingerprint
Every
scanner.
morning he goes and he opens up his safe and just looks at the pin. And he closes it. and he closes them all.
Slowly closes
Nope.
it.
Nope.
Oh, that's great. I had one more thing that I wanted to talk about, but I don't know. Do you guys have anything that you want to say?
I can talk about something else I miss about Hollywood Studios.
Oh, wow.
Does it have to do with pin trading?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely.
Okay.
So the hat used to be Hollywood Studio or MGM Studios, whatever. Call it whatever. It used to be the big pin trading. Each park has a big pin trading thing. Magic Kingdom
Yes.
is in Frontierland. Epcot is
Pin
behind. It's Pin Central, right behind the ball. Where is it in Animal?
It's technically in one of the gift shops. I can't
Right.
remember what it's
Discovery.
called.
Okay.
Discovery
Right.
What
Okay.
is it?
Station.
And
or
then
something.
currently in Hollywood Studios, it's in like Sunset Strip or whatever, going down to the Tower of Terror right before the restaurants. but it used to be under the hat. And I remember one time back, it was closer to when I started pin trading. I was like, I guess I was like a really well-mannered child. I don't know. You wouldn't be able to tell knowing me now. But I was talking to one of the cast members for some reason, and she brought out this giant pin board full of like ultra special edition traders.
Wow.
And she let me pick 2 out to keep.
Aw.
And then like immediately after I left, this small rude child went to just like grab a bunch off of the board, and she like was like, LOL, nope. But like I miss, like, they had like these really cool like 3 or 4 boards full of like just ultra special edition pins, and it was cool. And now it's gone.
I guess you do kind of can create memories from these pin trading moments, I guess. Do you guys have any memories that you remember, like, from pin trading? Anything that sticks out to you?
I remember that station she was talking about under the hat.
Yeah, the
I think I
station.
bought a couple pins there because I remembered going there a lot. I'd check it out and be like, hey, look, more pins. But that was before I really got really deep into pin trading.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of saving my money at the time. But then
Haha,
after
saving
that-
money. What is that?
After that, it doesn't happen anymore. But, like, I remember that station, and then I remember checking out the one at Epcot occasionally. But nothing really jumped out at me. I don't really look for the open edition pins most of the time anymore. I'm just looking at limited editions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I felt like if I'm going to invest in a pin, it better be something that could...
Just
It's not going to be made forever
know
and
the
ever.
difference between limited edition and limited release. Limited
Yeah.
editions are numbered. Limited releases are not. It just means they will only make them and sell them during a certain period of time. Limited editions are numbered. On the
So
back
they
of
only
the
have,
pin,
like, this many amount of...
Out
on the back of the pin,
3,400.
you have to take the cardboard off, obviously, but on the back of the pin, it will say 1 out of however many.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Jordan? Do you have any special memories from pin trading?
I wouldn't even say just pin trading, but a special memory that has to do with pins is it's just one of the things that it's recent history just jumped out at me.
Mm-hmm.
Was, okay, so all of us in the podcast right now are in a club together,
Yes.
and so we did that pink elephant gift exchange.
Oh my God.
And we have 2 kids named Zach in our club.
They've
One
both been
sitting-
on this
Yeah,
podcast,
Exactly.
in
One
fact.
is sitting to the left of me. The other one
Was here last week.
Here last
Well,
week.
Yeah.
Last episode.
Yeah.
Yes. And they both brought the same gift.
The same. It was what, 2 Moana pins?
The same 2 Moana pins, but the way
Yes.
they were packaged were so into
You could
their
tell
personality.
Who
It's
collects
so
pins
funny.
and who does not?
So the other Zach who was here last episode, he bought the pins, got them wrapped by Disney, brought them to the club. We traded them, blah, blah, blah. Kid went home with 2 nice pins. I got the Zach to my left gift, which was this framed backing of Moana pins with the logo of Moana colored in.
It was super cute.
It was amazing. It's still sitting
Yeah,
to
it's
this
sitting
day.
But it was
in
like,
my
what are the
living room.
chances that the 2 kids with
Named
the same name?
brought the same gift?
And wrapped them in a style that and
It almost embodies who
reflected.
they are.
Yeah, reflected.
Who they are.
And
And
the
I'm
thing
really
is,
good at
I never
supplying
bought
vocab
those
words
yet
for Michelle.
for
I blank
myself.
out.
You
a lot.
did it?
Wait, you still don't have them?
No.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I see them. I'm like, there's a Moana pin again.
Who
I
got
should
the
buy that.
other
And I'm like,
Zachs?
Never mind.
Moana pins. Do
One
you
of
remember?
Mason's brothers.
Okay.
Oh,
Noah
yeah, yeah.
or Matthew.
They're all
Can't-
so big pin
they're
traders.
twins, and I can't tell them apart. So here's Noah and or Matthew.
I remember Mason got my gift, which was a 4-in-1 Frozen board games. I didn't know what to buy.
That's fine.
Some people got jokes, some people got
Oh yeah, there were
really nice
4
gifts.
gag gifts, I think.
Yeah, I opened those pins and I was like, oh, I have a pin board. Maybe I'll trade them. Then I'm like, nope, I'm going to shut my mouth and go sit in this corner and enjoy my little pins in a frame before someone tries to take this. And I didn't get anything traded. I was happy.
So as you can tell, pin trading is a thing near and dear to most Disney fans' hearts. And if you go to the parks, maybe you should try it out.
Oh, one other thing. Sorry, that I just remembered. At the Epcot pin station, have you guys ever seen the people that bring their own personal
Oh my
collections?
God.
Yes.
They're so scary.
Thousands and thousands of pins. They
They're
just
so
set them up on these tables behind the pin trading, and like you can trade with them, but like it's different than trading with a cast member because they have to like something of yours.
So they have to
Oh.
actually like it.
I
Yeah,
have a
you have to
story about
offer
that
them.
too.
Go
Okay,
for it.
I want to
So
hear.
I have a friend, and she is obsessed with Marie from the Aristocats. And this girl had this Marie pin that she'd been looking for weeks, could not find it. It was completely sold out. So the girl was like, okay, I collect Stitch pins. None of us had Stitch pins. So the girl walked over, and my friend was like, I will buy you anything here if I can get that pin. So the girl's like, okay, I
Oh,
want
God.
this Stitch cross stitch pin. Mind you, this cross stitch set came in a pack of 4. You can't just get the one pin. So she's like, that's the only thing I want here. She's like, you don't want anything else? She's like, nope, it's that or
Did
nothing.
she want all 4 of them?
No,
or
she
just
just
the
wanted the
one?
Stitch.
Okay.
So it was her graduation. So I decided I got her like a Tsum Tsum for her gift because that was big. It was last summer, so they're huge at that point. So I'm like, okay, fair is fair. I'll go in halvesies with you. So I ended up with a Dumbo and like a Winnie the Pooh, and then she got the Stitch and some other pin. I don't remember what's in that set. But she traded the Stitch pin with this girl, but it ended up costing us, like, even with our 10% at that time discount, the pins themselves were like $25. So, like, I don't like personally trading with those people. I like looking at their
They
collections.
can be rude.
Exactly.
Like, it's really unfortunate how, like, it's like, listen, you have thousands of pins. Are you really going to miss this one if I trade you something you don't necessarily hugely want? Like, the last time I did manage to trade for something, and she liked one of the pins I happened to be carrying that day, but, like, she was really rude looking through them, and she was like, I like that one. And I was like, okay.
So is it their pins?
Though they're their
Yeah, they're
pins.
personal pins.
Okay.
And Disney lets them bring them in
I don't
and
know how.
trade. I don't either because they have like wagons full of pin boards.
Literally,
That is
like,
interesting.
boards or, like, 20 books. Literally, when I say thousands of pins, I'm not being, like, dramatic. I literally mean thousands of pins.
There was this other instance that I met this guy, kind of older gentleman. He had a bunch of pins there, and I just wanted to look at them. We were walking around looking at all everybody's collections and stuff, and I was like, oh, can I take a look at your collection? He's like, yeah, do you want to trade? I'm like, I honestly don't have anything that is worth trading that you'll probably like, but I just wanted to see. And he had some really old pins from like movie releases and stuff, and like park openings and things like that, which were really cool, and you just kind of got to hear the history. He was a nice gentleman.
Yeah.
So they're not all mean, but sometimes when they
Just
have
be
like
careful
they
if
have
you
like the
choose to
chairs
trade.
set out, like the lawn chairs, and they have their own tables.
It
and the
sounds like a
wagons.
very prestigious yard sale.
It really is, and there's so many of them, and I'm like, do y'all like? Especially they usually show up on the weekends.
I don't know how they get through security with that
I
many
don't
pins. Like,
either.
really?
I mean,
I don't even know. But okay, whatever. Somebody lets them through.
I actually got while you were talking, I had this question come to mind. Do you guys follow any pin traders? Like, are there any well-known pin traders out there?
As far as well known, I don't know, but there are a couple of like Instagram accounts that I follow. There's like, if you look at that Disney pin trading hashtag, you'll find people on there who have pins they want to trade, pins they want to sell, their collections. Zach, I know, just
Yeah. I
added
just
me to this
found-
group.
I found a group on Facebook, and it's a Disney pin trading group, and they have like really strict rules and all this stuff that you can sell pins and trade pins, and you have to abide by all this.
So there's
really
a whole
strict
community
rules.
where
You
you can
should
do it
add
me to that
outside
too, Zach.
of Disney.
Yes,
Mhm.
and I was
that
like,
sounds cool.
yeah, it was cool when I first seen it, and then I seen how much
Oh,
it
true.
was getting, and I was like, oh, okay. This is just
Trading
window
with
shopping.
cast members is
Just
best.
looking around. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
it's
But
the
you
easiest
can't.
and
It
most simple.
is out there that if you find something that you probably really like and you contact this person,
You can hope. It's
You can
just
hope.
don't get your hopes up too high, because people are fickle and you never know how they'll respond.
that is fair.
Yep.
Like the yard sale people.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna call them yard sale.
It does though. If you walk over through Epcot and like over by Penn Central, they're all just sitting there with their boards, and I'm like, y'all good?
It's like, this is what you spend your day doing?
There was one.
They're there every day.
There's
Not
usually on the
every day,
weekends.
usually the weekend.
There's
Okay.
one family, I swear, I met them, and they're like, we just drove down from like Tennessee or whatever, and I'm like, oh, like, what are your plans today? Like, what are your plans for for your vacation? And they're like, oh, we're here to trade, and I'm like, trade what?
Pin.
And they're like, pins, and I'm like, that's all you're here to do? Like, you're not gonna go? I'm like, have you tried soaring? Test track?
I mean, one of you all can sit here.
I'm like, your mom seems mad comfortable. Why don't you guys go? They're like 2 teenagers. I'm like, why don't you all go try some food?
Attractions, literally anything.
Go eat something.
And it's like, isn't it a sunny patch of area? Like,
Yeah.
during, like, not all the time, but, like, during, like, the high hours of the day.
It's just hot.
It's, like, gross out there. Why are you
Yeah.
going to sit there?
I'm surprised there's actually not an official Disney event surrounding.
There
actually
used
was.
to be.
There was?
There used to be.
Well, they just had one, the Love is an Adventure pin trading event at Disney. I don't know if it was an official Disney thing. I believe it was. It was
Yeah,
like
because
a,
they released all kinds of special pins
Yeah.
for it.
it was like $120 admission for like the weekend or something like that. I even looked into it.
Oh wow.
And they had a bunch of pin trading stations and like limited edition pins and stuff like that. You can look it up online and just kind of see like what they had to offer. They even made an Alex and Ani bracelet for it.
So it's not like a Dapper Day though, where there's
No.
like some people came up with something and
No.
then
No.
there's
The,
like,
back
Disney was, like,
home,
money.
I don't
Yeah.
know about the character warehouses up here, but back near where I'm from, which is South Florida, there's this really big mall, and they have a character warehouse there. And when I was a kid, they used to do like pin trading events where like it would just be like a day, and it's like everyone bring your pins and we can all trade. But like I don't think I know they don't do that anymore.
I think our character warehouse does them every so often. At least I know the one in Vineland does, which is
Okay.
the one closer to Disney World. But they're like usually once a month, once every other month.
Yeah, they used to be once a month back. Did you ever go to them in South?
I never went back,
But it's a really notorious
it's a
mall.
huge mall.
Please
I've
bleep it
never
out.
been to that trading because I was never into it.
I
Back
was
then.
a kid. They stopped it when I was like 8 or 9.
I feel like people just get really crazy about it, so they don't do them as often because it gets kind of sketchy and dangerous. Because people are like, I need everything.
Well, I mean that mall, because the nature of that mall is kind of like people come from. This is
Far
gonna
and
sound
wide.
racist. Yeah. Okay.
Far and
Far
wide.
and wide, and they just buy a lot of stuff that would be more expensive where they're from, and they put it in suitcases. And then
Yep.
they go home
Yep.
and, like, I guess sell it or something. I don't know what they do. But it's kind of a struggle, so I can see why they stopped doing that at that mall.
Okay, so have you guys ever been to one of these pin trading events or anything like that?
Nope.
no.
No.
So you don't really recommend
I just, from what I hear from them, because they're very short, usually they're only about an hour and a half long.
really? Wow.
And people come in out of like all over the place to do them because they want like these quote unquote exclusive pins that might be there. I don't like, this sounds so stupid because I'm like Disney, I don't like crowd very much, especially in small condensed places and people
Yeah,
are
it's like the
loud.
claustrophobia of people.
Exactly. And the store has so much stuff already in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it just seems like a bunch of chaos to me in my mind. Maybe it's not like that. And, you know, if you want
Yeah.
to tell me
Well, I mean, it's
otherwise,
different
tell me,
than
but-
actual Disney where you can still be in your own area.
Well, Disney has like
Exactly.
open spaces,
Yeah.
and like they try to make the rooms feel open, whereas the Disney stores and the character warehouses do not feel open. They cram
Yeah.
as much crap as they can in a small amount of space.
because they're
It's
trying to get
great.
rid of it. So I mean,
Exactly.
But I'm even though I have so many pins, I consider myself more of a casual trader. Like if I'm not going out of my way to do it, it's fine. But like I would not go like super far out of my way. Like I said, like with that whole like I was looking for that Mulan baby princess thing for so long. Like if I had been really dedicated and searched the parks, I guess I could have found her sooner. And it's kind of funny because I found 2 of them on the same day. I found and traded for one, but like the back was kind of broken, so I traded away a different one and got the better backed one.
Oh, I've done that.
But like honestly, I just if it's like on my way somewhere, if I happen to see a cast member wearing one, but I'm not gonna go seeking out cast members. That's a lot of work. I'm lazy.
So we've talked about a lot, gone on a lot of tangents, but I feel like this has been a very fun and useful for new pin traders or people who want to get into pin trading.
Or just even people that don't know as much about it.
Yeah, definitely. This has been a great conversation. I very much enjoyed it. Thank you guys for coming, by the way.
No problem.
Of course.
So I'm Michelle. This has been Real Deal Disney. If you guys want to check it out, all of our other social media websites and everything like that, we have Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. We're not really active on those sites, but we're just starting to come into it. Yes.
We're working on it.
This is a new thing, so if you guys want to check us out there, we will be more active. But we will see you guys.
Come say hi to us. We
Oh,
will
yeah.
answer any asks.
Yes, asks.
If
need
you
to-
ask anything on Tumblr, we are open to answering.
Yes, we will do that. Where did my pencil go? Oh my gosh. But yeah, if you have any questions, if you want to suggest other stuff, feel free to stop by. We're very nice people.
Yeah.
So
Can't
yeah.
love Disney this much and really be that awful, can you?
This has been Real Deal Disney, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.